the Honest Wargamer. I'm joined by Mr. Sir Lord Nathan Prescott.
Yeah, that's me.
MB,
Lord
Esquire.
Yeah, Lord of the Forge Lodge, etc., etc.
Nathan, how you doing? You well?
Doing great, thanks.
Good,
Yeah.
good. And Mr. Jonathan, I protect the skies, Etland. How are you?
Hello. I'm good.
Yeah? Okay, good. The angel on our wing. And Jonathan is from Sweden and the team captain of the the Swedish Warhammer Age of Sigmar team. No? Yes?
Yeah. I passed it on this year. Well, I might be back next year.
Oh, okay. All right.
So we have a new talent that's gonna take the team to Scotland this year. It's called Samuel. I think he will be a great captain.
Okay, I'm excited by him.
Captain
So
Samuel.
everyone in the Twitch chat, thank you very much. If you're listening to us back live, obviously on our podcast, thank you. If you're watching us on YouTube, this is what I look like. That's what Nathan looks like. Thank you. And Jonathan looks like a ghost. And as always, thank you to everyone on Patreon who helps us support us. But you can also subscribe on Twitch if you'd like to. I've got to add that now into my little bit that I do.
Yeah.
And it's if you have Amazon Prime, it's just free. So it's free for you, but it's not. It gives us money to help do the show.
Yeah.
Right. So what we're doing on the show today? Today, what we're going to do is a bit ad hoc. We're just going to jump on the Games Workshop web store, and we're going to look at the 17, I think it is, start collecting boxes for Age of Sigmar.
Cool.
And then we're going to talk about them in a match play setting, and if you should buy multiples of them. If you're thinking about starting collecting the army, it's a good idea. Or if buying more than one would probably be a bad idea. Is everyone happy with that? Okay. All right. Here we go. So first off, the first one, the coolest one, obviously, is start collecting Skaven Pestilence. So, and they're all the same price, right? So in England, they're £50, but obviously you can get them for like 40 quid from Element, and those other places. Like you got even more discount from some places.
Yeah.
And it does it say what it has in, or do we have to just look at it and guess? Has it got? Surely the guys have got a description on it, product information. There we go. No, 12 plus. You have to be over 12 to play this.
Seriously.
I never knew that. Doesn't say what you have in there. So what you do have is a plague furnace.
Yeah, a screaming bell.
Or a screaming bell. Because it's the same kit, so you can build either.
Okay, cool.
You have a plague claw catapult, which also could be a
Warp
lightning gun. Thank you. My entire brain is gone. Then I think you have 20 plague bearers. Thank you.
Plague monks.
20 plague monks. And then do you have a plague censer bearer? No, you have 5 plague censer bearers. Or 10?
No censer bearers.
No censer bearers.
Or just it's 20 plague monks and the furnace and the catapult.
Right, 20 plague monks, the furnace and the catapult. Right, so as the start of us, I have a pestilence army. I think this is a great box to start with. What do you two think? It's the key elements for what you need.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the backbone of the army.
Yeah, you're gonna need loads of fucking little monks, plague monks, running around. Yeah. So that's great. The catapults are worth it, and
absolutely.
The furnace is not bad either, really.
Yeah, when I built my pestilence army, I think I bought 3 of these boxes.
Yeah.
And then in the army list that I planned, I didn't use the third
plague furnace.
The plague furnace, yeah.
So because you got an option, haven't you? Because there's definitely a really strong army with having 3 plague claws. You need a bunch of plague monks. So even if you bought 3 boxes, getting 60 of them is still not going to be enough.
Yeah.
And 3 plague furnaces, you could obviously turn one of them, if you wanted to, into a screaming bell. If you were collecting more Skaven, or you happen to have some of the Skaven, and you will get a huge amount of bits from that. So that's pretty cool.
So like the minimum you should buy if you're thinking of doing a pestilence army, like the minimum of these is 2. I recommend buying 3.
Yeah.
Because the monks, you will need all the monks you can get. You will probably at least run 2 furnaces in your list, probably.
Yeah.
And if you get 3 boxes, you can do the formation with the catapults, but still it's 3 catapults.
Yeah, and if you wanted to not build them, but you wanted to run a Scryer army and take a bunch of lightning cannons, you just build them the other way. So I think 3 is fine. Any more than that is not a good idea. But it is all of the key elements for what you would want in a Pestilence army, which is a lot of monks, a couple of furnaces, or at least a furnace, and then maybe some plague claws. And that's basically most of what's in there anyway. Plague priests, you need to add a couple of plague priests here and there.
Yeah.
And then you're good to go, and then just a bunch more monks, and that's your pretty much cookie cutter Skaven Pestilence army, right?
Yeah, there used to be a bigger box as well where you got the Corruptor, the Vermilord Corruptor as well.
Yes,
and so some other stuff. I think you got some Plague Sensor Bearers and the Plague Priest maybe.
Yeah, but currently that's not.
Yeah, it's not available.
So a good one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, this one is 10 out of 10.
Yeah, this one, 10 out of 10. This one, this is a good one. Right, next up is start collecting Malignants. Also, Skaven Pestilence as an army, we probably should talk about that as well. I think bodies on the board, a bunch of them. They're not the quickest, and they're a little bit glass cannon, but probably I think you can make a fairly middle to top competitive Age of Sigmar army out of Pestilence.
Yeah, good way to put it, by the way. Middle to top, I like that.
Yeah, Nathan?
Yeah, I think they've got some legs. They can be quite competitive.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Right, so next up, Malignants. And in a Malignants box, you get Coven Throne. You get...
Or, I think it's a Mortis Engine.
Yeah, Mortis Engine or a Coven Throne. So the Mortis Engine is what you get. Then you get 5 Hex Wraiths, 3 Spirit Hosts, and that's your army.
Yeah.
Now,
so the Hex Wraiths can also be built as Black Knights if you decide that you need more of them.
Yeah.
Spirit Hosts.
Spirit Hosts can't be anything else.
Always Spirit Hosts.
Spirit Hosts. So Spirit Hosts can be Battle Line, which is pretty cool. And I think more and more people are experimenting with that as a concept, because now in 2017 they've got Allegiance ability. And they could be Battle Line.
Yeah.
And I think, but Hex Wraiths or Black Knights, generally, I don't see people talking about them at all. I don't see many people running them.
No,
I don't rate either of them currently in 2017. I would say that they're subpar and not something you would necessarily include, but it's nice to include them. They're fantastic models, though.
Fantastic models, but I think they lack. They have a great movement, but I think they lack a little bit on the damage department.
I agree. And then the Mortis Engine is brilliant.
I love it.
Brilliant.
I love it. I would love to do an army with 4 of these guys.
Yeah. Nathan, have you played against Mortis Engines or Spirit Hosts or even Hex Wraiths?
Yes, I've played against all of those things. Yeah, I think they're all pretty. I think they're all decent. The Hex Wraiths got function. They are a bit limited. The Spirit Hosts are really good.
Yeah.
For what they are, and the engines are pretty cool. They're a bit funky, really. Yeah.
If you plan to do a Nighthaunt army and include the Mortis Engine, you can buy 2 of these boxes because the Mortis Engine is just 180 points at the moment.
Yeah. Yeah, I think if this is a good way of getting some extra free stuff because you're buying 4 Mortis Engines or you're buying 3 of them. And
you're going to be using the Spirit Hosts pretty much.
Absolutely.
As a given.
Absolutely. And I think as a general death army as well, I think the Black Knights are really good.
Yeah, so I think
objectives and stuff.
I think you're not going to be wasting your money having a bunch of sprues that could be Black Knights or Hex Wraiths.
Yeah.
Spirit Hosts are going to be great too. And generally, death at the minute doesn't have any like extra stuff, or generally people take mixed death stuff. So having a variety of units that you could summon or knock around is quite cool. Yeah. But we haven't seen death perform very well at many tournaments. Generally across the board, most people are shying away from them. I agree with you, Jonathan. I think 180 points at the minute in 2017 for that. Coven Throne is great. Sorry, the Mortis Engine, and taking 4 of them could be a great army. So this might be a great way, but I would say that generally the box is kind of in the medium kind of tier.
Yeah, because it's a backbone for general death, perhaps.
Yeah. It's like a cheap access, like it's like a bumper pack of cool stuff for a death army, but it's not and it is the beginnings of a death army. But if the Hex Wraiths and Black Knights weren't there, they're not necessarily definitely something you'd include. Any follow ups for that, or do we think we've done that?
I think that's good. That's good.
Yeah, I think there's someone in the chat, because I missed the chat there. Mortis Engine is Death Mages, whilst the rest are Nighthorn. Oh, that's a good point as well. The Mortis Engine is Death Mages.
Yeah.
And the rest are Nighthorn.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't realise that.
So.
Oh, you hadn't? Okay.
Yeah, so Mortis Engine. So you can't even make like a single faction army, right?
Right.
Yeah, that's a really cool.
You can ally in the Mortis Engine, or you can ally in 2 Mortis Engines. So I think Nighthorn can ally in Death Mages, which Mortis Engines.
I mean, that's just poor planning.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Next up is you've got start collecting Skeleton Horde, so another Death Army. So you've got 2 ways to buy like a bunch of skeletons. There they are. They got Black Knights in. So this one's 5 Black Knights or 5 X-rays. You've got 10 skeletons, and then you've got one of the Mortarchs. So I actually think this is pretty decent value.
Yeah, I think for getting the Mortarch, basically you're paying the same price, aren't you? And just getting all the other stuff as a bonus, really.
You're just getting if you plan on buying a Mortarch, you might as well just buy this box.
Yeah.
But
absolutely.
For starting off an army, I would say that especially the one that's modelled on the picture is Arcan, and his special shtick is that he can do a lot of really good summoning.
Yeah.
So I think that it's a solid choice getting this box because you can summon a bunch of skeletons here or there. You summon some Black Knights here or there, or some Hex Rays. Probably not Hex Rays because they suck. But it's not a bad box. And then actually, if you want to collect all 3 Mortarchs because they just look wicked and are cool, this is a cool box to do it with.
Yeah, because you're going to use.
Plus, you get a summoning pool as well.
Yeah, you get the warriors definitely useful. Cavalry seems a bit meh at the moment, but who knows?
I think the Black Knights are underrated. I think they are super good.
The Black Knights?
Yeah.
I think the Black Knights could be really, really solid. Like,
if you use them what they are intended to be used for, and if you look at rules-wise, because they don't hit hard. The horse actually hit harder than the rider, and the horse doesn't hit hard, but they are regenerating and really hard to kill.
Yes. Originally, Black Knights did cause a bit of issue for people, but we'll see. I think this isn't a bad box at all.
Yeah,
me either. I like this box.
I think it's not as good as the Pestilence one, but it's definitely better than the.
The Pestilence army is the Pestilence box is more of a. It's quite easy to see where the army will go from that box.
Yeah.
But this one is more open to do stuff with.
Yeah, I think that's because that's those Mortarchs, right? You've already got a big choice there.
Yeah.
But again, I think if you're planning on buying a Mortarch, you should just plan on buying this box. Realistically, you're paying the same price and you're getting a bunch of extra stuff. And I think warriors are always cool, and it's a bunch of bits. But it's definitely not the start of an army. Well, it is the start of an army, but you don't really know where you're going with it. That's what I think. So, next up, this one's going to be complicated. So, Slaves to Darkness, STDs.
Yes.
So you've got 5 Chaos Knights, you've got 10 Chaos Warriors, it looks like you've got a Chaos Lord, a Chaos Sorcerer Lord, and you also have a Chariot.
I think it's just 5 Knights, not the Lord. The guy in the middle looks intimidating, but I think it's just...
Look at me being intimidated by him. All right, okay. So what do you think
you got a Sorcerer there, though.
Yeah, you got a Chaos Sorcerer,
Yeah.
Okay, so 5 Knights, 10 Warriors, Sorcerer, and a Chariot. What are your thoughts?
If you're going to do a Slaves Darkness army, I would buy a box of these. Probably 2.
Okay.
At least.
So the Chariots are not great, truth be told. They generally got hurt quite badly, but...
the Knights are good.
The Knights are very good.
You're going to want Warriors, probably, and the Sorcerers are great.
Yeah, Chaos Sorcerer is great. And it's nice that obviously it's Slaves to Darkness, but because you've got the... Let's make sure I get this right. The Tzeentch and the Khorne book out currently. Obviously, they can all get marks of chaos.
Yeah, and Slaves to Darkness got their own allegiance.
And Slaves to Darkness got their own allegiance ability, so they're very functional in lots of armies.
Yeah.
And so it's a very good box.
Yeah. The Knights.
I like the Chariots.
Good, actually.
You like the Chariots?
Yeah. They're cheap. They're 80 points. And for a Slaves to Darkness army that is in general quite clunky to build, they make it a bit more flexible. And they have the speed. It's still a model that you need to kill. It's scoring. It's fast. I like it.
Okay.
It doesn't do that much damage, but for 80 points, I think it's great.
which they'd be good as a speed bump to hold the army up.
Yeah.
I definitely look at, if you were looking to expand on this, I'd definitely look at Sail the Faithless from Forge World and make blocks of these fly. I would add more. I definitely would look at maybe adding another couple of these boxes because I would want more knights and more warriors.
Yeah.
But I would feel like, I mean, I know the chariots are probably financially free. And you make a good point.
Give them to me.
Yeah, and you make a good point, Jonathan. Well, this is the point, right? My feelings are I wouldn't put.
And the sorcerer is great. Ocular vision is.
Yeah.
The sorcerer is really good, especially as the sorcerer could quite quickly get a sword and become a lord on foot if you wanted it to. So yeah, I think it's a good box. Would you take it in multiples, or would you think it'd be a waste getting more than a couple of these?
No, I would at least minimum get 2.
Yeah. 2, possibly 3.
It depends on how knight heavy you want your army to be, basically.
And those, the reason I say that I don't like the chariots is because I think the knights being there, the knights are just going to do a better job. But you know, it's all to play for. So yeah, those are our thoughts. We're going to try and include an army list on each one of these from each one of us, and just give you some sort of this is where we go from there. But I think it's nice just to know, just be like, okay, all right, start collecting Flesh Eater Courts. Right. Here we go. So you've got the Terrorgeist.
Best lore in the game.
Best what?
Best lore in the
narrative.
game. Yeah, narrative. Fluff, as you used to say.
So you've got 10 ghouls, 3 Crypt Ghouls or Vargeist, because he could be both, and then you've got the Terrorgeist, which is also Vampire Lord and Zombie Dragon. If you wanted it to be, I think if you bought 4 of these, I don't think that would be a problem.
I agree. Because the big guys, the horrors, can be anything. Can be anything from heroes to what are the flying ones called? The
Vargeists.
No, that's the Soulbite one, but it can be them as well.
Yeah, no, it's Flayers. Yeah.
And the big guy on the dragon, you get the guy on top, which can be a guy on foot. It's a great kit. And actually, if you plan to play Soulblight, you get the Wargeist and you get the Lord on Zombie Dragon. So this kit is really good.
Yeah.
You just keep adding ghouls, and ghouls are pretty solid, and you just keep getting more and more ghouls. So I think if you were interested in death and you wanted to get just a bunch of the dragons, 4 of these, you'd have 12 Crypt Horrors, or then you'd have 9 Crypt Horrors and 3 Flayers, or this is just a wicked box, I think. Just keep buying more of these.
I bought 4 when I created my latest death army with the 4 zombie dragons.
Yeah.
It was basically the army, so it's cheap.
But what's nice is you've almost got another army on top as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, and you're just stacking, you're getting extra ghouls for free and stuff. So I think that's a great choice.
Yeah. Super value. Good.
Yeah, I think that's that's probably, so I would put that in my. Oh, we didn't do this with Slave to Darkness. Slave to Darkness I put as medium to top, and I put this is top. Yeah. So far, this is genuine. I honestly haven't, actually looking at it for the first time, like properly looking to tell people. I think that was really good.
Yeah, it is.
That one's really good. Okay, next up is the start collecting Khorne Bloodbound. So yes, well, obviously with the Blades of Khorne book now, Bloodbound, and while Bloodbound is a faction, Blades of Khorne, they've all got a Khorne keyword, right? So they all come under the Blades of Khorne book. So you've got Juggernauts. You have a Slaughter Priest with Hackblade and Gorefist, although you might be able to build them in different ways. You've got
10 Blood Warriors.
10 Blood Warriors. And that's it?
Yeah.
So 10 Blood Warriors. What do you think of this?
What makes me hesitate is it depends on what army you want to do. If you want to do a Khorne Bloodbound army that's heavy on the Juggernaut, it's a great box, because Blood Warriors are great. They are super good and should be included in any Bloodbound army, in my opinion. The Slaughter Priest also has his place in the Bloodbound army. You might include 2 sometimes, but I don't think that's a thing. The Juggernauts
doing the D6 mortal wounds is from Blood Boil is a very common. You see that a lot.
Absolutely.
And
It's
they've got
really
the
good.
extra prayers. I think the priests are.
I think multiples of the priests.
I think a couple of priests is not a bad thing.
As long as you're willing to do some conversion work on maybe a couple of those priests.
I like the other model more. It's probably one of my favorite models in the game. The
Yeah,
other guy with the two-handed axe.
The tall guy.
Yeah.
This one is great as well, but the other guy is so...
Disagree. I don't like this guy. The other one's great.
Yeah.
Blood Warriors are great, but I think once you start getting up to like 2 or 3 as multiples as an army, 30 Blood Warriors, that's a lot. I mean, they're great, and the jugs are also decent, but the jugs don't really do that much damage. I don't find.
Maybe in Iron Stampede, I think it's called. The Iron Stampede formation, and then if you get 3 boxes, you get the 9.
The Brass Stampede.
The Brass Stampede. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, I think if you buy 1 box, you've got elements to add to any Khorne force, which is nice.
Yeah.
And you got Blood Warriors, which is great, Slaughter Priests, which is great, and then 3 of those to go and grab objectives is really solid as a choice.
Yeah.
I think. So there's no wasted points here. There's nothing that's just like not good in the game. Multiples. So when you get up to like 3 boxes and you're like, well, if I get 3 boxes of these and I've got 9 Juggernauts and 30 Blood Warriors and 3 Slaughter Priests, what do you think? I'm like, I think you're just overloading when there's a bunch of other stuff that could probably make a better army.
Yeah.
I think,
It depends on which army list you're going for. Like you say, if you're going for the Brass Stampede, then you probably could get away with getting 3 boxes,
Yeah. Okay. Like we say, this is just doing a quickie. So we've got some chat. The French Baron says Gorb Pilgrims, and a Veltron says Slaughter Priest in the SC box is the best in my humble opinion. Cool helmet and pose. And then the French Baron says Great Battalion with the Slaughter Priests run 3 in my list. The Gorb Pilgrims. Yeah. Okay, there you go. That's the whole point when we sort of talk about setting up those Wargamer. The chat is also as part of the conversation, so they're helping everyone out as well. I would say that this is medium to top as well. I think this is a very good one, medium at least.
Yeah.
But I would be a little bit conscious about buying multiples of them personally. But someone in the chat has done that and said they're having a great time with it. So
cool.
Like if someone would ask me if I would buy a Start Collecting box if I'm going to play Bloodbound, the answer would be yes.
Yes, but would you buy 3?
If I'm doing a Brass Stampede.
Yeah, okay. Right,
and I think the issue is the overload on Blood Warriors, but Blood Warriors are great. They're really good.
I do think Blood Warriors are great, and if someone would say to me, would you run 30 Blood Warriors, I'd be tempted to. I'd have to look at exactly what list I was putting them in, but then I wouldn't be having 9 jugs as well.
Yeah, you'd end up with 2 lists, wouldn't you?
Yeah, you'd start
2 armies basically.
Which is then really you're starting to move towards that. Okay, are you guys top, medium? How do you feel about that?
Medium.
Yeah, sounds great to me. Yeah, medium.
Medium. All right, next one is we've got Start Collecting Beast Claw Raiders. I remember when that box came out that was just like the army in the box. I had 1 Stonehorn from last edition, win every game. So this is a Thunder Tusk or a
Stonehorn.
Stonehorn, thank you.
Stonehorn.
And then it's just 4 Mournfang.
Yeah.
Yep.
Simple. It's simple, easy. Don't mess about. That's your battle line from Beast Claw Raiders right there in your Mournfang. And then you've got your Lord, or you've just got a monster.
Yeah, or it could be another battle line.
Or it could be another battle line, It's a box of battle line. And it's 5 models, so easy to paint.
Well,
I think 4 boxes will give you surprisingly a lot of options, even though it's just 2 units on the picture.
I agree. I just think the Mournfang are not great.
Have you seen them played now, though? They got a point reduction.
No, okay, so with the points down, I'm thinking about it, but I'm not saying that the Horde meta is really a real thing in 2017, but I think it's an interesting conversation that there's still a lot of bodies on the board.
Yeah, competitively wise, I don't think they're probably top tier army, but they're still a great looking army and they're a fun army.
Yeah, 100%.
If you're going to build like Braggoths formation or something like that.
I'm waiting for the day you can include Godrak in that formation.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. I'm just, as people wanting to build an army to take out to tournaments or play with their friends. I think, you've got all of the key elements that you would need, and basically most of the units in a Beastclaw army right there in front of you.
I have seen the Mornfang smashing stuff up, like especially the Great Weapon Riders. They're pretty. They hit hard, but you have to play really well to get them to work. Really, I think.
And you've got big threats from the monsters. Yeah.
If I would do a Beastclaw army, I'd buy 4 boxes.
You would, but you then would have 16
Mornfang, but you probably wouldn't need to build them all. But
well, that's my point.
For the price, you're going to pay the same for the monster anyway. So
then that's all right.
Yeah, just flog the other.
And it gives me options. Because if I want to run 16 just to prove Rob a point,
just come and run you over with 16 Mornfang.
Good.
Yeah,
right.
I would have the ice arsenal ready to go.
Okay, all right. But when we're talking about how we feel about this army as a competitive match play army currently, I would say that there's a lot of counters, and they're not what they were just an edition ago.
The Stonehorns have taken a massive clunk to the back of the head.
The Thunder Tusks are no longer the only thing that does that much damage at range.
A friend of mine, Sebastian in Norway, is running 4 Thunder Tusks and some a big unit of Mornfang, or 2 small units of Mornfang and a big unit of Yetis.
Yeah.
And he's doing surprisingly well, because the game is often decided after turn 1 or turn 2.
Yeah, whether or not he wins or loses.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's great.
4 snowballs to the face. Bang.
Yeah. Here you go. 24 mortal wounds. Okay, next. Double turn. 48 mortal wounds. Okay.
Yeah, it's true. 4 fucking...
Someone just subscribed! Perkysaurus!
Woohoo!
He subscribed! Perkysaurus! May we thank you always from the bottom of our hearts. That's like the thank you. Sorry, it only went live yesterday. We haven't really told anybody, so oh my god, you superstar. Sorry, I railroaded that conversation. What a cutie pie. I'm gonna keep, never mind. Someone else talk. I'm gonna just sit here and smile.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, at the moment...
His battle shout is boom boom fuck you.
Well, that's the list. That's the list, right?
Yeah. It's a top box for me at least.
Top box. It's so top for you.
Value wise, it's great.
Okay.
But competitively wise, I don't know. People seem to be struggling with Beastclaw at the moment, so
I'm gonna buy 4 and prove them wrong.
Good.
Well, that's good. I would say that any more than maybe beyond 3, you're starting to have too many Mornfang. Is my feelings, but I'm happy to be proven wrong. Just to keep up with the chat, I lost Archeon to 4. The French Baron says I lost Archeon to 4 Mornfang over 3 turns. Grand Marshal of the Apocalypse, my ass.
Good.
I have done that as well.
he is.
You me, buddy.
Perkysaurus has said Archeon is the AOS Failbadon. Yeah.
He's a chomp.
That's
good.
Good work, Perky. Yeah, really good job. Right. Okay. So Mornfang. So maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I need to shut my mouth and let's do a rundown. Let's do a rundown on Mornfang.
Tell you what, the Great Weapon ones are pretty terrifying.
All right.
When they get going.
Do you want to do a rundown on them next week?
Yeah, can do.
All right, sold. This sounds fun.
Great models as well.
Yeah, they look great as well.
They do.
Every time I look at them, I'm like, yeah, man, we can do this thing.
Although I had a nightmare with those tusks going on the front. They always snap off. Anyway, so start collecting. Get ready. It's ready for late night. That's right. Start collecting the demons of Slaanesh. It's late night. Welcome to late night. So you got the Exalted Seeker Chariot, which actually is just 2 Seeker Chariot kits in 1 box. I don't know if anyone knows that. And then you get 10 Demonettes, and then 3 Seekers. 5 Seekers. And I don't know if you get an Exalted Seeker as well. No, I don't think you do. No. So yeah, 5 Seekers of Slaanesh, 10 Demonettes, and then the Exalted Chariot of Slaanesh. Right. So, at the Heat recently, so until 2017, you didn't have an allegiance ability for these guys. You do now. Marcus Slaanesh stuff has got an allegiance ability, which means it can include like Slaves to Darkness stuff that you're giving this keyword to. Also includes Archeon. He can also be in this army too. Okay. So that's an addition you can add on. You can add on Slaves to Darkness. You can add on. I still think Demons of Slaanesh. The Beasts of Slaanesh are still a thing. Can't remember what they're called. They still exist. But at the Heat recently, a lot of people play with some Slaanesh stuff, and they with plans to do great. And a quote I have from Brian Carmichael, who I respect a bunch. He says they're great at dealing with hordes.
Yeah.
But anything that's got a 4-up save or better, they just can't go through. So that's what he said. Those are my thoughts. What do you guys think about this?
Those are his thoughts.
Pardon me?
Those are Carmichael's thoughts, not yours.
Yeah. Did I say? Oh.
I'm just messing with you. I think if you're going to do a Slaanesh army, I think it's a great start.
If you can do a Slaanesh army, I think it maybe.
Yeah,
the chariots.
It's going to be made up of those elements, isn't it? It's going to be Seekers and Demonettes, and either the big chariot or little chariots.
I think you might take a bunch of the big chariots, so 4 big chariots, I think the Seekers, I can't see. I mean, yes, sometimes. And the Demonettes, I guess. But just while as a box for the army, it's probably a great box. The army as a whole and those units adding into that army, even as a start point, I wouldn't say that the army is particularly top tier.
No. But for creating a Slaanesh army, I think this box is probably top tier.
Okay, all right, yeah.
So you understand what I mean?
Yeah. So as a kickoff point to start a Slaanesh army, great.
Yeah.
But Slaanesh army as an army with these elements for kicking off a Slaanesh army, not a top tier competitive army.
Probably not.
Is in 2017, and if someone comes and wins a massive Heat or tournament in the next couple of weeks and proves me wrong, I'll be happy that that's true. That's my kind of. This is my. I was thinking about buying a box for Christmas, or I was thinking of getting someone to get me something. And this is the army I thought about starting. I think it's a good army to start and really fun and really mobile. But I think you're just going to lack what some other armies have. Those are my thoughts.
Be great against Dispossessed.
This is the box to buy versus Dispossessed. I agree. Yeah. Has anyone else got any other thoughts? Oh, the French Baron just subscribed on Twitch Prime. Oh, thanks. It's free to do it with that. Okay. Sorry. Thank you. Thanks.
Cool.
That's. Whoo! Calm down. I'm going to start to be able to buy fancy butter for my sandwiches. So Flixalot just subscribed.
What's the ugly butter?
Pardon me?
What's the ugly butter?
Yeah,
let me tell you, it's not nice. Oh, you guys are great.
Yeah, probably is.
No. Soon I'm going to be able to start using public transport. It's going to be a great time. You guys are great. Thank you. Also, John, I think is in the chat right now. He's going to do us an emoticon. So what's really fun is we can invade Warhammer Live with our emoticon. Let's do that one day. Let's all go there. That'll be a fun time. Anyway.
Cool.
Thanks. Tom, if anyone else subscribe, let me know.
I will. Don't worry.
Okay. So anything else?
No, I mean, I don't really know that much about Slaanesh stuff, but they look cool. And I think if I was building an army, I'd want those things in my army.
Exactly.
All them boobies, but still, that's the way it goes, eh?
Yeah.
Maybe, I mean, there have been a couple of guys that are like Nick as well. The guy that won Heat 3 with the Squigs.
Yeah.
He brought a Slaanesh army as well. So, and he didn't win the thing either that time. So they're not as good as Squigs.
Orcs for Days has just subscribed as well. Orcs for Days.
Yeah.
He's right. We like Orcs for Days.
Good.
Orcs for Days is brilliant.
Cool. So, I mean, so obviously they don't look like they're a top.
I love you guys.
top tier army, but they look like a fun army.
Yeah,
and the box looks like it'll do the job if you want to collect the army. The next one is Fire Slayers.
I've been derailed by the Twitch chat. You guys are going to have to carry on now doing the show. Everyone's so cool.
Okay, 10 out of 10. Go on. Next one.
Orcs for days. Wait, well, no, this is not 10 out of 10. I give this a medium to low.
Why? It's Fire Slayers. It's like...
No, not the Fire Slayers. The Slanesh one. I give the Slanesh one medium to low.
But you do it on a like how strong the army is, right?
What?
You do it on a point where you determine how strong the army is.
Yes.
I do it if I want to build a demonette army or a demon army with Slanesh. This one is super good.
Yeah, I'm not disputing that. I'm well on board with that. I'm like, if you want to build that army, go for it. That's wicked. Yeah. Is that army an army you're like, should I pick this up to try and compete at a tournament?
No, it's low. It's low.
It's low.
If it's competitive or not.
Yeah, is it competitive? No, but is it got the key elements to start a demon army for Slanesh? Yes.
Yeah.
And it doesn't really have any wasted points like we saw with the Hex Wraiths. It was like that was just a very confusing box. But this one's a good one. Yeah, I just want people. I don't want people going, "Oh, they've said that's a great demon army,me," and I'm like, no. It's good for a demon army.
It's a great demon army. It's just not competitive.
Yes.
So now moving on to a competitive army, we're looking at the Fire Slayer box.
So this is like a top tier competitive army.
Yeah.
But I don't think this box is the best way to build that top tier competitive army. Is my thoughts.
Well, yeah, if you don't want to take the Magmadroths, if you're just going to take the infantry army.
Yeah, so it's got a Magmadroth.
Although you do come with 3 heroes as well as the Magmadroth.
Does it come with 3?
Yeah,
2?
the Magmadroth kit.
Oh yeah, Magmadroth. Yeah, so Magmadroth gets you access to loads of heroes, which is great. There's also a couple of heroes. No, those are the heroes from the Magmadroth kit, right?
Yeah. So you get the Rune Smiter, and then you can have the Rune Lord or the Rune Sun on the Magmadroth.
I'm such a dwarf racist. I just look at them and I'm like, I have no idea what you are.
And then you get all the Volkite Berserkers. Yeah.
I'm so glad you said what they were. I was like, that guy with a key, guys with axes.
You're going to want all the Volkite Berserkers. I think you'd need at least one, because I think the list, you'd get 2. I'd probably get 2, but I think a top tier list will have a Magmadroth with a Rune Smiter on top, at least.
Okay.
For your first turn rerolls.
Yeah, you want at least 2 Smiters, right?
Oh yeah, and you just want as many Volkite Berserkers as you can get.
Yeah, so we've seen Fire Slayers in 2017. Currently, we've seen Fire Slayers absolutely smash the top tables and just do really well. They're ignorant to damage. But most of the lists we've seen have not included many Magmadroths.
Yeah.
So while one box is cool and the access to all those heroes for cheap, as well as those key elements that you would include in an army, you wouldn't buy 3 or 4 boxes of Magmadroths of this Start Collecting box. You maybe would, because you're like, I want loads of fire. But if you were looking towards building but one of the competitive builds that people have been using and doing well with at tournaments, you wouldn't buy many more than one of this box.
Yeah, I mean, the list that won that tournament the other day was just large blocks of 3 large blocks of Berserkers and a large block of Auric Hearthguard.
Yeah.
And then 3 Tunnelers or 2 Tunnelers, that sort of thing. So
yeah.
And then obviously your Battlesmith and your Rune Lord, your Rune Father. So he didn't have any Magmadroths, but then speaking to him afterwards, he was like, he had allied in some Sky Wardens. Speaking to him afterwards, he was thinking of dropping the Sky Wardens and bringing in the Magmadroth with the Rune Smiter on top.
Yeah.
So that can run forward and burst out the bubble that gives you the rerolls to wound. And that would just buff that first turn when you pop your Auric Hearthguard up. Give them that buff
with their shooting.
Yeah. So I think you probably want at least one. But I mean, I like the Magmadroths, so I'd take a couple personally. But then I'm not a top table player. So.
You could be all day. I think you're one of the most talented Age of Sigmar players I've played. Just little question. Velatron has just asked, by the way, when is Games Workshop planning on releasing some Dwarden ladies? And I said they already have. It's called the Dispossessed faction.
Bastard. Don't get a grudge set now.
There's one grudge in the bank. So yeah, I think more than one box is not necessary, but there are ways. So the things that you're looking to add on for some of these like Fireslayer competitive armies is more Auric Hearthguard.
Yeah, the Hearthguard and more. Just as many berserkers as you can get, really. The Volkite.
Yeah.
So that's just bodies on the board.
List, but if you want a fun list, you get a couple of these boxes.
100%. Yeah, no, I agree. I think it's a wicked kit, and because obviously they've got different characters on top.
It's great value with the monster and the dudes. It's great value.
Yeah, but it's so I would put it in kind of the medium tier because
competitively wise, medium tier, value wise, top.
But a great box. Yeah, great. Yeah, wicked box.
And you'd get at least one. I mean, it's top tier for buying at least one to start your army with.
Oh, yes, 100%. But after one, it starts to go down.
Then,
I suppose the top tier system is probably not that eloquent, which is why we're doing a conversation, right? Explaining our points.
We're making these words happen.
There's not like just a green thumb, like a yellow thumb and a red, like down thumb.
These pants are up or down. Right.
So the next one is start collecting Demons of Khorne. And so this has got 10 Bloodletters, 3 jugs, 3 Khorne Juggernauts, and a Skull Cannon, 8th edition. Or it could also be a Blood Throne. Sorry.
Yeah.
It should never be a Blood Throne. Just
FYI. Take that formation.
Unless you take the formation that requires it. And it literally requires it. You're like, I don't want to put this in. It's like, you have to. It's required. You're like, no. What do you think about this box?
I think it falls under the same category as the Divas of Slaanesh box.
The Divas of Slaanesh. What do you think?
Yeah. Because it has bits and bobs, but like it's like the same. It's like the same as with the Bloodbound box, really. Like, would you go heavy on the Blood Crushers? What you do want is the Bloodletters.
Yeah.
What you
for
do,
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're going to go again with a competitive list like the Fireslayers, it's bodies and it's the Bloodletters.
I think this is one of the worst boxes for I think all of the models are wicked. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, and I think that you could do loads with them, and at no point am I not going to say any of these start collecting boxes aren't a great idea and really worthwhile. I think I'm totally sold on that idea. Just where I'm at is I just wouldn't. I mean, I would take the Bloodletters in an army.
Yeah, if you want to be on the top tables, you probably wouldn't take it in this mix, but then you'd just take Bloodletters for days. But if you want to have a nice round balanced army, then a couple of these boxes.
But it's almost two parts of an army. Like Games Workshop's like game design really wants sometimes so Iron Jaws is an example. You could take a Gore Fist or you can take one of like an Ard Fist or something, and it really is like several armies in a battle tome. And you can take a couple of Ard Boys, a couple of Gore Grunters, a couple of Brutes, and a big Cabbage fella. You could do that absolutely, but you could also just go all pigs.
Yeah.
So this is almost like the start towards 2 armies, I think, maybe.
Yeah.
Further down the line. So 1 box, definitely, but the rest, I don't know. But yeah, like you say, a nice rounded force is quite fun, and it's nice having different profiles. Skull Cannons I don't really rate.
You don't?
I don't. That's just.
I think they have a place in a Khorne army.
Yeah.
Just because they can rack up some easy blood type points.
Yeah.
And they can make use of the blood type points as well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they can.
Snipe heroes and stuff which the rest of the armor can't. So I think there's a place for them. I don't think they have been tried. There's a little bit of assumed knowledge here going on.
What I played with. I've played with Skull Cannons quite a few times, but you're right.
Yeah.
And I faced him a couple of times. I faced Dan Ford a couple of years ago with the Skull Cannons, and I was just like, and at this point, you can still take them in units.
Yeah, I think so.
He's still taking units. At that point, they were super cheap, and he had like 2 units of 4 of them.
Yeah.
So yeah, then I was a little bit more terrified, but actually, when I started playing through with it, it was like actually I'm not that bothered, and it didn't really upset me that much. But that could just be some anecdotal evidence for that. And if anyone's used the skull cannons and really rates them, or the blood thrones and really rates them, I'd really like to hear about it personally.
Yeah, I think it's a situational item. Versus like fire slayers and stuff, I think a skull cannon can be really good to snipe heroes. But it's you need some luck with the dice as well, but it can happen for sure.
Okay. So I rate this as like a medium to low, unlike my preferences to buy.
Yeah. With the data that we have, I fully agree.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. If anyone's got any other opinions, now possibly the coolest box. Start collecting Iron Jaws. Ooh. So it's got Gore Grunters, best unit in the game. It's got Ard Boys, worst unit in the game. It's got 5 brutes. Sorry, it's got 10 Ard Boys, 5 brutes, and it's got the beat sticker himself, the war chanter, and that's the army. I think that's an amazing value box. I just don't rate Ard Boys at all. Now I think that you disagree with me, Nathan.
Yeah, I've got a big unit of Ard Boys that I'm trying out, and I think they're right. It doesn't come with any brutes though.
Oh wait, have I not seen brutes? No, it's just Ard Boys.
Yeah,
you're right.
so
Sorry, there are no
Boys,
brutes. Don't get excited.
War Grunters and a war chanter.
Yeah, keep going.
I think you probably. It depends on what sort of. I mean, value-wise, it's not that much more expensive than just if you bought the Gore Grunters by themselves. And then you're also getting, obviously, the War Chanter.
Yeah.
So if you're going to do like a Gore Grunter list, it's probably a good way of collecting it because you're going to want some War Chanters. So you'd probably get at least a couple of boxes. And then obviously if you're going for a more mixed list, then fair enough, the Ard Boys have got a roll. But you probably only end up buying 1 or 2 boxes, I would have thought, for an Iron Jaws army.
This box?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the War Chanter is effectively free, isn't he, I think? And a couple of War Chanters is a good idea. I always toy between a couple of War Chanters. Do I take a couple of Weird Boys? I'm very confused. Like, still to this day, exactly. I love the Gore Grunters. The Gore Grunters is quite expensive anyway, as a box.
Yeah, exactly. So if you bought the Gore Grunters and the War Chanter, you're probably getting the Ard Boys for free.
Yeah.
Which is fair enough.
And I think you're right. I think if you plan on buying, like if you're going to do the Gore Fist like I've done, and I think I'm up to like 27 pigs. You should probably just buy the Start Collecting box because you can model that War Chanter, like if you're only good at modeling in a bunch of ways, and then you're just getting all those 10 Ard Boys for pennies, and then you've got like just tons of Ard Boys if you wanted to for some reason in the future use them. I don't rate them personally. It's cool if you do. Like, feel free to tell people I'm wrong because I'm like well up for that. But yeah, I think you're right. A couple more.
Yeah, I'm still experimenting with the Ard Boys, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, I've got a big block of 30 of them because they discounted price.
Points, I like that unit
point wise, and I think it's actually quite a good unit. So we'll see how it goes. Well, I'm going to play with it a few times and just see what it does.
All right. And Iron Jaws are doing well, but not winning tournaments.
Yeah,
they're solid, but they're not.
Yeah, they're just a bit one-dimensional in that they just run over and beat stuff up. But and again, they do suffer from the movement fall syndrome.
Yes, they do.
I think. Sorry, Nathan, go on.
But obviously, you got a few ways of going around it. But you need the formations and stuff like that to work on that.
Yeah.
And they have access to the Gore Grunters, which are a bit quicker. But yeah, I think they're good. They're a tough army and they hit hard. But and
they got an allegiance ability in 2017 to help out as well.
Yeah, again, it helps out a bit, but it's not.
If it was a box of Gore Grunters and Brutes, I'd say don't stop buying the box.
Yeah, the brutes are
but
very choppy, and the hard boys are quite resilient. So it just depends what you want.
I think the strength of the Iron Jaws army is the objective game. Yeah. Sure. The Gruntas doesn't smash people up like the models should do if you look at it. But they have a strong staying power, and I think that's why they win, because most of the times you have to shift their army.
Yeah.
and
they're all up in your face like turn one.
Yeah, a lot of the formation. So if you were looking to take this army, I'd probably look at you would either go for, after the first box, you'd probably start moving on to which formation you were looking to take them in and why, and then you would probably start buying those units individually over buying more of that box.
Yeah, exactly. I think you see a lot of Iron Jaws army revolve around blocks of brutes, so obviously there's no brutes in this. So people want brutes, go and buy brutes.
Right.
Okay. I think that's a healthy approach as well. Like buy one box to see where you want to go with the army, and then continue down that path.
The problem is though, is one box isn't really an army. And I think
one box isn't really.
It isn't like any of these start collecting boxes doesn't really give you a good feel, and which is what I'm hoping that this show will do. It will start to give you some sort of concept. I think you're either going to go all Gore Grunters or more Gore Grunters than you are, or you're going to go for that box and go, actually, I've got a War Chanter and the Gore Grunters and the Arboys, that's good, but then I'm going to buy mainly Brutes, but then they've got those 3 Gore Grunters that I want and the War Chanter, so I don't have to. This is almost like the start of 2 different armies, or the addition to like a Brute army, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe. So hopefully this helps out. Everyone in the chat, Twitch chat, got anything to say? Let us know. Those guys are talking. Maybe we should talk about the Christmas boxes, because those guys are talking about it, and see if that gets interesting. Right, Demons and Nurgle. It's got 3 Nurglings, unit of Nurglings, 10 Plague Bearers. It's got a Herald, and it's got a unit of Plague Drones. Whoop whoop, Plague Drones. What do we think about this box?
If you want to do a Demon of Nurgle army, it's great.
But currently a Demon of Nurgle army is not good.
I think like if you're gonna run a Demon of Nurgle army, it's like the Taliban of Nurgle. That's the way to go probably. But I find like most of like the Plague Drones they cost more than they do.
They used to be really good. So. Yeah, they used to be really good. So if it helps anyone out, I'm trying to build a Nurgle army, and the reason, I built it, but the reason I'm trying to play it and work through it in my brain is I want to build an army that wins by just not dying. And I suppose I kind of got beaten to the punch by Fire Slayers because I wasn't really expecting that, which is funny. So that would be like 90 Plague Bearers. But then when I start looking at that kind of amount, I start looking at what else I'm going to include. And some mobile stuff is things like Plague Drones. And Plague Drones are awesome because they've got that banner where you can get D3 units, get D3 models back on the Battle Shock test. So if they lose 1, so big units of 6 or 9, I used to see that all the time. Nathan, remember you used to see that quite a bit?
I've seen that a couple of times.
Because that Battle Shock roll of a 1, they'd end up getting like 4. That 2 or 3 units, 2 or 3 models back, and they're multi-wound models. And then Nurglings are actually also really good for holding objectives at the back of the board. So it's not necessarily unwise to buy a couple of boxes of this, because you're starting to get those Plague Bearer blocks, which get a discount, and you get the Nurglings, which are good at holding objectives, and you get those guys that are good at going and getting objectives. Well, they're not good at getting objectives. They're good at moving onto an objective and standing there and trying to grind out your opponent. So I think it's a good box, but just the army isn't a great army for winning tournaments at the moment.
Yeah. I think what's discouraging me from buying like more than 2 is the drones probably.
Pardon me?
What makes me hesitate buying more than 2 boxes of this one is the drones.
By Oxford Days. Sorry, the drones. Yeah, I think so. I think the drones. Someone in the chat said Tom Lyons did successfully play a Nurgle army, although with help of Sale. So that would be Slaves to Darkness with the mark of Nurgle. So I think this and the Slaves to Darkness box is a kind of mix. You've started to get a cool Nurgle force. which I think is cool. And then someone said, what do you think of Blight Kings? Wanted to spam them, but feel like they cost a lot for mass amounts. I think Blight King's pretty good.
They are really good, especially in the ever shows information.
Yeah.
And they are super strong.
And at Jonathan, what's your Twitter, Jonathan? I'll type it in the chat. I'll do it. I'll link to your Twitter in the chat. So who asked the question, Gravecaller? I'm sure Jon would want to talk to you about that all day. If you want to know what his list is for that. But sorry, back to the demons. What do you guys think?
I think
you'd probably buy one box.
One box, and instead of buying a second box, I'll probably pick up the Blight War box, because you basically get all of this. Part that you don't get the Herald and you get Slimux instead.
Yeah.
Because you want that model. If you're playing Nurgle and don't have Slimux, you're doing it wrong.
So this one on the Blight War box, right?
Yeah.
I'm not saying that he's a super competitive model.
Not competitive wise, but he's awesome looking little fat snail.
Great.
It's not all these boxes. I think are great jump off points for someone collecting any army.
No.
And you know that I'm all about like finding something and trying to make it work. You know, I suppose really the point of this is just going, you know, what do you want to add on to this? You know, because you can add Archeon onto this. Mark a Nurgle, and then you got a Nurgle Force, off you go.
Yeah.
If you wanted to. So I think that's what's interesting. You could add Slaves to Darkness, you could have Sail. And although Sail, he can ally with Slaves to Darkness, but I don't know if he can ally with. Interesting question.
I think he is a Slaves to Darkness in keyword.
Yeah. Okay.
But Sail wouldn't do anything for this box.
No, these are all demons.
These are all demons.
So.
Yeah.
And then you've got a Great and Clear one. Add that on maybe. Glotkin's a good call to add on, which is interesting. Although a lot of people don't rate Glotkin. I rate Glotkin. I think you don't rate him?
Yeah, I rate him. I think he has his place in the right army.
In the realms.
In the realms. Okay,
I think I'm doing an army for my next tournament with Archeon, Glotkin, and one of the Maggot Lords.
Okay.
It's not a good army, but I'll have fun. I'll sort it out.
Okay, let's talk about. So let's go on to start collecting Demons of Tzeentch.
Dirty fucking words.
Yes, I know. I've said all the bad words here. Loads of people getting triggered, and you get a lot in this box. You get an Exalted Screamer, Exalted Flamer. You get 3 Flamers. You get 3 Screamers. You get 10 Pink Horrors, and you get an Exalted Pink Horror. Sorry, what are they called? Herald of Tzeentch. Great box. 10 out of 10. Top tier, high, all inclusive, all the points for me. What do you guys think?
Well, I don't think the Flamers and the Screamers are not that great, are they?
I think
compared to the other stuff you can get in the Tzeentch book.
Yeah.
If you're going to play a competitor's Tzeentch list, you probably don't want to buy this box.
I think Change Host and stuff like that. You're seeing a lot of people and things like Flamers and the Screamers. Not the Screamers necessarily. I think the Screamers are just a bit of a.
I mean, I've played against a list which has got these things in, and I think he probably built and it was a great game, and I enjoy, and
what were you using?
And I was using Gitmob.
Dice, and he wasn't.
I was using Gitmob, but and he should have absolutely trounced me, and he was trouncing me. I just got lucky, but so I think they do have. You can make a strong list, but if we're talking about top tier, top table, like a top level army, horrors, yes, but then you want Skyfires and others.
Yeah, you want a Lord of Change.
There's other Tzeentch things that you want, like the Flamers and the Screamers are not the top.
So the Screamers are right out. Let's put them to the side. But I think the Flamers have got their place, maybe. But I think. But
there's other stuff that do what they do, and that does it better and moves faster.
Agreed.
So if we're talking about top, then this box is not top. But if we're talking about cool model and a cool army list, yeah,
Maybe the conversation we're just having is that Tzeentch is just so good. The Disciple Tzeentch book and most of the Tzeentch units are just so utterly like OTT better than some stuff in the game that you kind of you're like, what do I want? Do I want Uber A++, or do I just want Uber A+?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if you took like flamers and screamers and stuff, and you took those stats and then put them into a goblin army or a dispossessed army, people would be like, "Oh, these are great units. I'm going to take them." But put them in the Tzeentch book, they're like, "No, these things suck. I'm going to take this stuff instead."
So I think the statement, let's round that up maybe. I think the statement is with this box, or maybe multiples of this box, although I think the Screamers are maybe a waste in that situation. You could build a competitive army, but the more competitive Tzeentch armies currently only have certain elements, like specifically the Pink Horrors and the Herald. They tend to have more of that and less of the other stuff. In like the very top tier ones. And even then, we've seen a lot of Tzeentch armies on top tables, but we haven't seen. I mean, in America, we have Joe just smashed a bunch of people up with his change host, Joe Creer. So well done, Joe. And because I keep track over there, which is nice. I tend to find. I don't know if do you guys pay attention to what's happening in America?
I don't even know what's happening in Derby. What's happening in Derby?
I checked the results like in the list from the big events, but
I like doing that because it's a really different take, a different bunch of players, and it's a different world, and it's really nice comparing the two. And I suppose I was lucky, obviously, getting the job where I went over there and spoke to a bunch of folk.
So you can relate to them but more.
Yeah, and Demons are doing quite well there, but then Brimstone Horrors, they're not here. They're really good. Blue Horrors, they're really good. So so probably you can build a competitive army out of this. I would say immediately add a Lord of Change. Or two. Just do that. Just do that. Don't do anything else. Add 2 Lords of Change and 2 more Pink Horror boxes, and then you've got an army.
Yeah, you want some Blue Horrors, some Brimstones, Lord of Change, probably maybe some Zangor or some Skyfires or Enlightened or something like that.
Don't promote this stuff, guys.
No, you don't. You want to
buy this box. Never play this faction.
Exactly. Fucking
right.
That's right.
Okay, next up.
So right.
Next up, we've got one of my favourites. I've got two of my favourite armies and 2 of the worst boxes coming up. So you've got start collecting Sylvaneth. So you've got a Tree Lord, the Tree Lord kit, my favourite kit. Probably got about 16 at this stage. You have 10 or 20 Dryads. Or 12 Dryads, that classic.
It's not an even amount. 16.
Okay, 16 Dryads. That's brilliant. And then you have a Branch Witch, which is a super cool model, and I'm in love with. So what do you guys think of this?
I think it's a good kit, especially if you're going to take the Winterleaf, is it? The Dryad heavy formation.
Yeah, Winterleaf,
I think, which I think is, at the moment, I think it's a pretty good list, actually. So,
agreed. I think he did Blood and Glory. Will, our friend, he did quite well with his Winterleaf army, didn't he?
One game Will.
Yeah, one turn Will.
It's also a good foundation for the Dreadwood.
Yeah, you could get some.
If you dare to play with a Tree Lord, that is.
No, I do not. Well, it's because that kit's a Durthu, it's a Tree Lord Ancient, or a
Tree Lord,
or a Tree Lord, and the Tree Lord sucks in its functionality. Maybe if a Tree Lord was 100 points, I'd take one. What do you guys think? Do you really like it, Jonathan?
I really like it, just because people don't like it. I know that it can perform. So
I'm so triggered. I've been using Sylvaneth before there was even a Sylvaneth book, and trying to make it work at competitive tournaments. And it was just like, you've got 4 attacks, with a Tree Lord, and then as he gets wounded, like after 3 wounds, he then gets 3. 3s and 3s, -1, d6 damage. And then maybe there's a shooting attack now, I don't know, I can't remember.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah, but then And then you've got the Tree Lord Ancient, who's got 3 attacks, but then he's got an 18-inch shooting attack, which is basically the same. So you've got that 18-inch shooting attack, which is better.
Yeah.
And then it's a wizard.
Yeah.
Right?
But
just...
the Tree Lord fits in my list. The Tree Lord Ancient doesn't.
Okay. This is a conversation for another time.
Sure, if you want to build an illegal list, go with Ancient.
But the Dryads, I think, are phenomenal.
Yeah, Dryads is pretty great.
Right, so everyone's agreeing on Dryads. Branch Witch and the Tree Lord, though, is what would stop me buying more and more of this box. Apart from I have a problem personally where I like to convert everything with a Tree Lord either on it or it being carried by a Tree Lord. So I'm probably not the person to give advice, so I'm going to bow out at this stage.
If you're playing Sylvaneth, you get one of these.
Yeah, and that's it.
My opinion.
Yeah, you don't buy any more than one.
Probably enough.
Yeah, and if you buy just one, it's 10 out of 10.
Yeah, maybe 2, depending on what you're doing with your Dryads.
Yeah.
Because you could always have a Durthu kicking about as
The thing is, if you buy a box of Dryads, they also come in 16.
Yeah.
So then you have the big unit of 30 that you probably want and 2 to spare.
2 of the you've got a couple of spare ones. Maybe you can, if you're clever, you can model up a Branch Witch or a Branch Ray.
This is how they got me, and then I just ended up having loads of Tree Lords, and then Tree Lord kits. I was like, wow, this guy looks like a Hurricane now. Like,
you can put 2 of the spare Dryads on top of each other, and then you have the Tree Man.
Treekin. They've got the Sylvaneth keyword. Treekin. Never forget, you can have Treekin in a Sylvaneth army.
They still do, even after the.
They still do.
The final solution for the compendium.
The final solution into that chamber, lad. So, I think you'd buy at least 1, possibly 2, for a list, definitely.
Yeah, I think 1 or 2, and then after that, you're better off buying what you want.
And Sylvaneth are sort of middle to top, aren't they? They're not.
They're not top.
They're not top, but they're.
They can't compete with Kharadron Overlords, Khorne, Tzeentch, and Stormcast, I don't think. So next one, you've got
Seraphon.
You've got Seraphon, and is this the worst box?
Yeah.
Competitively wise,
yes. Yeah. So have you got?
Yeah.
Is there 5 or 10 Saurus Knights?
10.
I'm out. I'm out. So you got the Carnosaur as well, and then you got 10 Saurus Warriors.
So you could model the Carnosaur as a Troglodon.
Oh my god! Just trying to wind me up now, aren't you? So the Saurus Warriors great in blocks, in formations and battalions where they've got Sunclass Star Host, really solid. I love Seraphon as an army.
You could build a list around Seraphon Warriors. The
Saurus Warriors.
Saurus Warriors, yeah.
Absolutely.
You struggle to build one around the Knights.
So, I'm going to say... It would be a nightmare. Brilliant, Jonathan. That's brilliant. I do have something to say about this. Yeah, there's no Slanuel Jackson in that box, is there? So I think Saurus Knights are genuinely one of the worst, if not the worst, now the Squid Gobbler has been changed, units in the game. As a statement. Now, egg on my face, and to prove that I'm letting you know that my opinion is definitely not correct all the time. Yeah. In America, at a tournament recently, a Saurus Knight list from the Dracothian Tale, or it had the Fireland. It had the Fireland Star Host, which is in the Dracothian Tale, which is in the General Handbook 2017, a leader's ability, came 4th, and Darren Patterson, Darren, who has been playing with Croak and has been doing really well, who we saw at South Coast GT, and we just saw him at Blood and Glory, and he nearly took it out again with Croak and some stuff. He started building Saurus Knights and thinks they're an auto to build his best Seraphon list.
Oh, yeah. Good job.
Illuminati confirmed.
So, number 1, this is an important thing to say, I think they look awful. I think the Carnosaur looks incredible, and you should just keep buying them because of the Carnosaurs. But some top tournament gamers are using the Saurus Knights. and winning or doing well with them.
Yeah.
And I think they're idiots. But it's happening.
Yeah.
And I don't know how I
proof
feel about
is in the pudding, isn't it?
Yeah, the proof is in the pudding.
There
The pudding.
That's an English saying, proof is in the pudding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have no idea why we say that, because what proof is inside of a pudding?
That's where the brains are.
We're being raided? What does that mean? Hellstorm is raiding us with a party of 6. Raid. What's happening? There's like 27. What's happened? Could someone tell me what being raided means?
Well, I could tell you.
You're going to be walking funny in the morning.
I think this is Hellstorm Wargaming, which I think is Mikey, if you know him. Raid, host your channel, boyo. I'm going to have to research some stuff. I'm really sorry, mate. Sounds cool. We're being raided. Is this... Do I need to ring the police now? Is this...
The police are raiding you.
Have you just Kevin Spacey'd me? Not Dan, can you research what being raided means? Because it's upsetting. Thank you very much if you are listening, or whoever you are. But that's awesome. We're talking about the start collecting boxes and whether or not they're worthwhile. And we're talking about Seraphon. And do you think that they're worth it? This box?
Obviously, if you want to win tournaments, yeah.
No.
I still don't get. I need the proof. I love it.
It's in the pudding.
It's in the pudding. I need to raid the pudding.
Oh, they came from... I saw it. You can shout afterwards and people come. Thank you very much to everyone who's come from that stream. Your bot banned me. I'm so sorry. I'll unban you. I'll add you as a friend. I don't know if that helps. You guys keep talking while I sort out the technical stuff.
So, yeah, I mean, obviously there's some lists that people are building around this. Value-wise, then, I'm not sure... Saurus Warriors are great. Carnosaur is cool, but he's probably not a competitive choice. And the jury is out on the Knights, because a lot of people think they're crap, but then a few people think they're alright, and they're doing stuff with them. So there you go.
Yeah.
So you got to make your own mind up there on that one, I'm afraid, boys.
But a good thing to add on would be a Slan.
Yeah. I think you need a Slan and a Seraphon list.
Bastillodon people.
And yeah, I think... Not sure on the value, but...
the value is good. I like the money-wise, because it's like the same price as the big guy.
Yeah. I mean, if you're going to get the Carnosaur, then you may as well get the box, because you're getting the other stuff virtually for note. So, yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
But it feels like you need to sit down and look at what type of army you want to build before you get this box.
Yeah.
If you're going to do it competitive.
Yeah. Some sexy dinosaurs.
I'm still trying to sort this out, because I've somehow...
Cool. Well, shall we... Will
you sort it out, not Dan?
We'll chat about the Greenskins box then in the meantime.
The vanilla dorks.
Yeah, vanilla orcs. So in this one, you get 5 boys on boars.
Yeah.
And then you get a war boss on a boar. And then a war boss carrying a flag. And then you get 10 boys with choppers and shields.
Yeah.
And
you can probably choose what.
Yeah. And then you get a chariot. So competitively wise, you don't see greenskins really that much, especially as a faction on their own.
But then again, like the Saurus Knights are supposed to be the best unit in the game, so the world as we know it.
I didn't say they're the best unit in the game. I said that people are winning stuff with them, and it's confusing me, and I don't know what to do about it.
So these guys are stealth number 1. I mean, the boar boys, they don't hit hard. The actual orcs are not bad in big blocks, but I think there's the point for point, you're probably looking at like big hordes of bone splitters or something like that. But orc boys are alright. And if they're your thing, then this box is probably a decent deal. Because I mean, that war boss on the ball, he's a pretty cool model, and the dude with the flag, he's got a cool buff that he carries around with him as well. It's just the greenskin army on its own is not a top tier army at all. You're looking at middle, if you're lucky, really.
Is this a middle table army? Really? Is this like with the Sylvanet?
No, it's not. Probably you would struggle against Sylvanet. It's probably lower tables. Yeah.
I don't know. I have not looked at like the green skins, like the vanilla green skins a lot, like after the release, because they have not been that interesting to me.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
I think they've gone down in points. So actually, the boys are. If you're gonna go for big hordes in the horde meta that we are,
which we're not in.
Yeah. The only problem is they're on 32 mils. So they're not fighting across ranks.
1.5 rank.
Yeah, they've got Rend, which is quite good for battle line, and they get to re-roll their saves in the combat phase.
Yeah, it's a 5-up.
Yeah, 5-up re-rollable. So like a dwarf warrior, but they can run and charge and do it. Their shields must work better. The chariot is I don't know. It's got like a 4-up impact hits thing. So on a 4-up,
it does one mortal wound.
Does the D3 mortal wounds?
Maybe.
Yeah.
I would say that Greenskins isn't a competitive army, but if this is
the
army,
either.
But Greenskins is the army that you want to collect. This has got some of those key elements and most of the model range in it.
It doesn't. Yeah, there's not a great deal of range in the Greenskin force, really.
No.
And it doesn't have its own allegiance abilities or anything like that. So
it's a skirmish warband, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's a cool looking box, but it's not top tier at all.
It's not top tier competitiveness, but if you wanted to play the army, that's all the key elements to play the army.
It's got walks.
Yeah, so you just keep buying them. So finally, Stormcast Eternals. It's got 5 libs. It's got 3 prosecutors. Has it got a unit of paladins?
No,
2 paladins.
It's got 2 paladins. I like how, 2 paladins. Why? And then it's obviously got the Lord Celestin with his reloadable hammer cloak. Not a good box.
I think it's a good box.
Oh, do you think so?
You'd have to combine it with the little box that comes with the extra retributors, the extra paladins to get a unit.
Well, it's the box you get after you get the core Stark, Age of Sigmar box, and you add this one on top because then you've got your full unit of paladins.
Yeah, so it's a combo box really, not a standalone box. Because the prosecutors are great, liberators are great, and paladins are great, and the Lord Celestins is great.
The one thing I would say about Stormcast though is that they've got so many formations and ways that you could take them now, and they've got so many units compared to some of the other armies that we've looked at. Is that even it's a great box to add on to. So you bought the core Age of Sigmar game, and then you added this on because you want to collect Stormcast. That makes sense.
Yeah.
But probably when you start looking at the formation or the battalion that you want to take, what you're going to do next is start to drop some of those units off.
Yeah, you start looking at different boxes then. Yeah.
What you do get you probably get the Retributors and the Celestant for free, I think.
From that cost of that box.
Yeah. But what I found with Stormcast and a lot of their formations is that they got points in match play, but if you actually do the formation, the army can't be legal if you're doing 2,000 points, which is a bit of a turn-off.
Yeah.
But otherwise, they have loads of tools and stuff.
Yeah, well, it's all the different artifacts and the different ways, the prayers and banners and things that you can take as well. So
the dropping into combat.
Yeah.
It should be removed from the game.
So Velotron says Stormcast box is not great because libs and 2 retrovators are from the starter box, not customizable models. Okay. So you can't. So you'll end up with 5 paladins, but you'll have no Star Soul maces. I think that's what you're saying.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Which is lame. Okay. I would say that Stormcast are a top tier army, but that box won't help you get where you need it to, to be.
I think it does, because you want prosecutors in your list, you want liberators in your list, and you get those for the same amount as buying them like off the shelf. I think.
I
might need a fact checking, but I think it's around the same price.
I think maybe you're running that 30 lib block that's running around and teleporting into stuff, but that's bound to be FAQ'd sometime soon.
Yeah.
And if you might be listening to this in post, and it's already happened, right? And then I don't know. I just think there are many other options that are going around. So.
Yeah.
So is the Christmas boxes on the store? Because if they are, let's just do them.
Aren't they on pre-order maybe?
Okay, let's go find out. 100%. It wasn't in the plan, but seeing as we're here, if you guys are up for it, let's just do it. And there's loads of people in the chat. Welcome if you've never listened to us before. This is the Honest Wargamer. I'm Rob. That's Nathan and Jonathan in the background. And we're just talking about the start collecting boxes.
No, they don't have the Christmas ones on the store yet.
Oh, that's lame. They've
only got the Blight Wall up.
Yeah.
Oh, so what's in the Blight Wall?
So you have 10 Plague Bearers. You have a start collecting Nurgle box, Demon's Nurgle, but instead of the Herald, you have the Snail. And on the Stormcast bit, you have 3 Paladors, 1 unit of Raptors or long strike crossbows, and 1 unit of the Birds, and 1 unit of 5 Hunters, and you also have the girl, which I can't remember the name of.
Neve. Yeah.
Black Talon, right?
Yeah, that's it.
To be honest, I think if we... Oh, sorry, go on.
And for 95 quid, that's pretty good.
The value is great for this box.
That's mental.
Especially if you're splitting it with a friend.
Yeah.
But I would say that most of the Stormcast units are pants.
Yeah, it's just the Raptor. No, it's just the Raptors and the Birds that you want, really.
Yeah.
If you're doing a competitive list.
Yeah, but I would like that army.
Yeah. If you want the army, that's absolutely A-OK. But there we go. I've got the Christmas boxes up.
Yeah.
So, and there's quite a lot in them, to be honest. And I'm pretty certain these are going to sell out straight off the bat. So I'm just a little loath to cover them because I don't think it's really going to help anyone make any informed decisions. But so we won't go too much into it. But looks like you've got from Stormcast Eternals, you've got a unit of the Paladors, and then you've got the Palador boss. You've got some Gryph-hounds. I think maybe you've got 2 boxes of Gryph-hounds there. You've got some Aetherwings. You've got the Longstrike Raptors, and then you've got a couple of units of the Vanguard Hunters.
Yeah. So competitively wise, no.
Competitively wise, no. Great model range, cool bunch of stuff. I love those Space Wolves in gold armor. That's really cool, and I love the Gryph-hounds. But Jonathan, your thoughts?
Yeah, I've been trying to do a competitive list with just the Vanguard units, and I haven't been using the Aether Strike Force, just the other stuff.
Yeah,
and I'm really struggling. I've loved the movement bit in the army, how fast they are, and how the tricks you can do. But once you get there, it's like,
okay.
To do it. So I'm still trying to figure stuff out with the Vanguard, but
okay. So I would say not great if you want to make a competitive army, but a great range of models if you want to add at one. Then Grand Alliance Death, you've got the Blade of the Blood Queen, so you've got a Mortarch kit, so you'll be able to build it in any of 3 ways. It features Neferata on the front, but obviously you can build any of the others. Then it's got 2 Morghast Archive, and we've already done a rundown on Morghast, so if you want to go onto our YouTube channel and listen to the podcast, we'll tell you anything you could ever want to know about Morghasts. And then you've got 20 Skeleton Warriors, it looks like, and then a Viking.
Oh, they're all good units.
Yeah.
That's not a bad box then, yeah.
That's not.
Yeah, but it feels like it's just as confusing as the other Get Started boxes, though.
Yeah. Well,
it's a good base. It's a good backbone. Like it's good units to have because there's a lot of summoning going on.
Yeah.
But to make a competitive list, sure, you might need them, but it's nothing like obvious in there to build up from.
Yes, I think Death, as we know, Death is not a competitive army. Pretty much ATM, or that's a bit of assumed knowledge as a statement, or people aren't taking or trying different armies. You know, they just keep picking a Vampire Lord and a Zombie Dragon.
I think there's good units in that box. If you're gonna prove people wrong and make Death the answer to the problems, then that's a good box to start with.
Morglum Storm Smasher, one of the new members to our chat, they said, "Why would you buy the box of 6 Griffs ever? Apart from it's a great name. Apart from because of the model love, which is the only reason that counts, which is true. Yeah, I mean it's a great.
All
box.
These boxes are great.
But yeah, getting all the
Blightwall one is fantastic.
Yeah, the Blightwall one is brilliant. And the Vanguard wing is cool. I don't say it again. I just don't like Stormcast, to be honest. Some of them I really love, and some of them I'm just like they're lame. But I think the Death one's great.
Yeah,
I agree with you guys. All right, next one. Next one coming up. Jonathan, just sit comfortably and don't say anything too loud or swear. It's Tzeentch Arcanite's Change Cult. Okay. For some reason, they've boxed up more Skyfires.
Added value on your Skyfires.
Yeah, so it looks like there's a Herald, there's 2 times 3. I mean, they could be Enlightened, but I mean, Enlightened or Skyfire. So you got the choice, and then you got a bunch of Zangor, and you got a bunch of Carrick Acolytes. So all of the key elements to a really good top tier Tzeentch army. Plus some Carrick Acolytes.
Yeah?
Yeah? What do you think of that?
I think that all armies can be top tier armies if you don't have to roll dice.
Yes! I agree. Yeah. I do remember Archibald.
I think it's shameful if you bring a change host to a tournament and you don't finish top 3.
Top 3.
First. Then you've done it all in vain.
Yeah.
And hopefully you had a terrible time.
Yeah, I think that is your go-to. Do you know what? I've wanted to play Tzeentch and win tournaments box plus some Carrick Acolytes.
Yeah.
I don't know what the maths are. If you can get the same stuff for less with Carrick Acolytes, don't bother.
Fair enough.
Do you guys agree?
Well, John wants Carrick Acolytes. They must be really shit.
Who does? John Green? They must suck.
Isn't that formation where they shoot twice?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It might be.
Do you know what? We haven't done a rundown on them.
I bet they're alright, and I bet...
It's because it's Tzeentch and they don't deserve it.
I bet because they've got Skyfires in the same faction that people think they're shit.
Yeah.
Whereas they're probably better than most people's... stuff.
Yeah, it's just not internally balanced one, is it? And also the Zangor are just brilliant too.
Yeah. Zangor, great. Enlightened, alright.
So it could be better than we're saying.
The horrors are just fantastic. So yeah, there you go.
And if you guys are new to what we do at the Honest Wargamer, we try to like dissuade ourselves from like assumed knowledge, and we do try to say like, you know, a pinch of salt. These are our feelings and thoughts, but we'd quite like to be proven wrong. So we'll go through a data sheet or we'll go through a war scroll, and we'll just do it start to finish and have a conversation about it, and then actually usually be surprised by how good we think something might be at the end. Yeah. I was blown away when we did the Spite Revenants one. I was just like, it went from 0 to 100 in my brain. I was like, they suck. At the end of it, I was like, best army ever. Right. Okay, so Tzeentch Arcanites, solid box. Finally, Kharadron Overlords. So you've got some Engine Riggers or Sky Wardens, and you've got 10 Arcanauts. You have an Admiral. You have, oh my god, is that a gun hauler? My god. My god, for the brave. And then you have the frigate.
Frigate or ironclad?
No, frigate.
Yeah.
So you got the 2 rubbish boats. And I mean, model-wise, beautiful. Match play-wise, not great. And then you've got engine riggers, and you've got Arcanauts, and you've got the Admiral.
How many riggers are there?
3.
3. Oh.
What do you think?
I mean, I think there is a list around one of the formations with the frigate, but everybody's going for the ironclad and all of that. So I think they're a great army. If a top table army, aren't they? Courageon. If you like shooting stuff. So.
Yeah, I think it's a top tier army. It's not the top tier units from the army in the box.
Yeah, I agree.
But that said, that is my pick for the coolest box of the 4. Because I think the Courageon Overlords is probably one of the coolest armies they might have ever released.
Yeah, they look good.
Apart from Slimux from Blightwar, because that guy. Yeah.
Slimux and Mulch.
Ooh. Morglum Storm Smasher says someone is taking Spite Revenants to Angel Core. 5 units of Spite Revenants in Dreadwood Wargrove. Nice.
Yeah,
that's really nice. There we go. Please let them know who we are. We've done a Spite Revenant rundown. Send him that. Maybe.
I think they know who we are.
Yeah, maybe they do. But just they might not.
Love to see the results though.
And also, Hellstorm Wargamer said need to get rid of those boats with the huge discount before they get dusty on the shelf. Don't worry though, I know for an actual fact, that they don't review how many they've sold of a unit to hit targets, which they also don't do. So no worries or fears that they'll be changing the rules to try and sell more. They just don't know what to do in that situation, which is nice.
All right, then.
Could read the rules.
What?
They could read the rules.
They could. That would be too much.
I guess.
So please don't assume that they're attempting to do a thing. You're applying logic when none exists. So
nice.
So in total, that's been all of them. I enjoyed that. So what's everyone in the chat? You two. What's your top start collecting box?
Blightwar.
Blightwar.
Yeah, I like the Blightwar box. I'd sell all the Nurgle stuff and I'll use the hunters to make you cry.
Okay. We can.
Yeah.
You and me can split. You and me can split the box if you want, because I want Slimux.
Do you?
Yeah.
I want the Stormcast with boobies and her mates.
Right.
You get the campaign as well.
Pardon me?
What? There's a campaign.
Let's do it. I'm in.
The Black Talon Girl is supposed to stop Slimux from doing his horrible ritual.
Good. We'll stop that happening.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Done. Deal.
Yeah.
We'll split it. I probably can't afford that, so I'm saying this out loud. But I know I can't afford it. So, now, although someone might be buying my Gene Stealer Cult army, so if they do that, I'm going to pay my electricity bill. But then in the future, we will do something else.
Cool.
Yeah. So everyone is saying, let's see what everyone says.
Well, what's your box?
What's your box, John?
Oh, my box.
Yeah.
I think my favorite one, if I'm gonna do an army, is either the Sylvanet box or the Beastclaw Raiders.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, Beastclaw Raiders. Forgot about them. Fuck.
Okay.
Yeah, they're cool too.
Someone's put in the chat. Blightwar for the Stormcast lovely model, says John. Beastclaw Raiders says Sir Flukes a lot. Grabbing up a load of them. Morglum Storm Smasher. Courageon for fun. Zinch for Evil Gaming. Makes sense. Hellstorm says Horlicks is awesome. Pokestar says I love the Tempest to start collecting. That's a good point.
What is your choice?
I really like the Zinch one. Maybe it's just the colours of the box art. Like maybe I'm that simple. I think it's just got like a nice variety, and I agree with you that
just shut your face, man.
The one with the screamers and the flamers.
Just because I think it's a cool box. I think probably one of the coolest boxes is the Flesh Eater Quartz one, because it's just got. You can just keep buying it, but then I'm gonna pick the Pestilence one because I want to see more people play Pestilence armies. And because it's
just picked like 4 or 5.
I picked Pestilence. I said there was a bunch that I liked that stood out to me.
He shared.
What?
He shared.
What's shared?
Flukes cheered us.
Oh wait! Someone cheered us! Oh my, we've got bitses! Wait, did a thing happen on the screen?
Yeah.
Yes! It works! Thank you so much. He did a little grave picture with hands. I don't know what that means.
Top
Look,
tier.
it says your name at the top. Now, if you guys want to join, get your name on the top, you've got a score to beat. I don't know how this works, but there you go.
The glove is thrown.
What? Yeah, if you would like to beat his score and get 1,501 bits,
What does this mean?
House of Wargaming, I refuse
That's
to
a lot
learn.
of stuff.
I refuse to learn how to Twitch. I feel like I've already done quite well. No way. This is fun. This is awesome.
Hellstorm.
Yeah, he's really nice, that microphone.
Yeah, he needs to come and train us. What hype? Yeah.
Yeah. Warhammer TV does have zero of this stuff because, like, it got taken over by an idiot in, like, February, so why would you expect it to be good? Although Dan's there, but Dan's far too busy just designing himself army lists, which is nice. Right, okay. So, that's everything we've got to say about that. Everyone happy with that?
Yeah.
Anyone have thoughts? Anyone got anything to say?
Yeah,
Yes, no?
I hope that Dreadwood Rawgrove does well at Angel Corps.
Yeah, who is taking that? Do we know who that is?
I think he's put all the lists up, so you can have a look on.
Is Angel Corps the one in London?
Yeah.
Nice.
Have
Nice.
a look on the internets, and you can see the lists. He's put them all up
Okay.
for people to download.
Oh my god! If it's the same guy at Blood and Glory, he was taking Lariel with it, and I think that's a mistake.
Mistakes were made.
Mistakes were made. Right. We're just going to sign this off now for the people on the podcast, and then we can keep nattering. So, if you've been listening to the podcast, thank you very much. If you've been watching on YouTube back, thank you. Everyone on the Twitch chat, you guys have been awesome, especially all of our new subscribers and our top cheerer, Surf Luke's a lot, says it there on the top, so that's nice. He's the person to beat now. Thank you, and as always, there's also people supporting us on Patreon. Thank you to you. Also, loads of love to Not Dan, because he's done great. Nathan, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Jonathan, thank you very much.
Thank you.
You guys are great. And if you want to find these guys, I'll put their links to their Twitters in the show notes and other stuff. So thank you and goodbye.